And we are back, baby. Sean and Spin in the morning. But yesterday we were at night, and today it's more of the evening. But we're making do. We're making do for episode number 6, Swashi, our Tuesday, April 29th edition. How we feeling?
We said it yesterday. We do it all. Morning, evening, night. Probably will never be afternoon, but who knows? Who knows?
At the rate we're going, you can never say never, baby.
Never say die, baby. Got an interesting Fat Tuesday to play. No day games today, so the earliest game 6:10. If you're checking out those picks, you want to go back to tomorrow. Went over all of them. We recapped the whole entire weekend. But we're gonna be looking ahead. We're always looking ahead here at Sean and Spin at whatever fucking time we're playing at. So we're looking ahead to Wicked Wednesday, and we're gonna get some way too early rewards here for you in a little bit. First, we're going to start out with Spin Man. We're going to get him on the clock for hard 90s, though.
We got a hard 90s. So this is a good, a practice fucking thing for me because it was a smaller slate yesterday.
Yeah, I think you got it.
So I could do a hard 90s. Of course, hard 90s is a segment where we recap all the games of the previous day in 90 seconds.
Yes, sir.
All right. And the time.
Put Danny Burgers to shame.
Now, we talked about Mets at Washington yesterday because that game was the day game, but Mets came back, fucking split the series, won huge. Twins also won huge at Cleveland, 11-1. A lot of division games this week. Keep that in mind. Twins at Cleveland take the first one. Yankees at Baltimore. They fell short 4-3. Suganu pitched pretty good. Warren didn't pitch awful. 4-3. Baltimore Yankees. Get back today. Come on, Yanks. Another division game. St. Louis at Cincy. 3-1 Cincy. That's a hard division. We always talk about it, but Cincy took the first one, as they should, realistically. A's at Texas. A's won 2-1. These were the late games. We barely saw shit from these games. 2-1 A's over Texas. Texas offense not really rolling. A's kind of a fun team. Does that put them over 500? I think it does. Tigers at Houston. Houston 8, Detroit 5. Wow, Houston 8, Detroit didn't. They fucking won in Detroit, and the Tigers coming off a big sweep. This is big for Houston. That's a very interesting series. Atlanta at Colorado, 6-3 Atlanta. They took care of business. They got 2 more in the Rocky Mountains out in Denver. And that's my pick. That's my golden take. For those of you who missed yesterday, tune back for the golden take because I have Atlanta being a 500 team coming when we talk Friday. So they took care of business in game 1. They got to keep rolling. And Miami, they won 7-6 over the Dodgers. But come on, Sean. You could stop it. We could keep cruising along here because I have a lot of bones to pick with this fucking game. I'm happy this was the late game.
Oh, first off, I gotta say that's a hard 90 right there. Spin.
That was a hard 90.
All sleep, but a hard 90.
There was only 8 games, so it's good practice.
That's a 12-year-old seeing his first pair of tits. Hard 90 right there.
Yeah, but with that Dodgers, I love Dustin May yesterday, and he pitched well. No knock on Dustin May. It could have been better. He comes out with it was 5-1 in the 6th. He went 5 and a third. He comes out with 2 of the runner on first and second that belonged to Dustin May. They go to the bullpen, and that fucking bullpen guy, he walks the dude, and then he gives up a grand slam. And now those 2 runs are issued to May, so that looks worse for May because he gave up 3 earned. It could have been better. And also that grand slam tied the fucking game. So now his win is out of the picture. I fucking hate relievers, Sean.
I mean, let's get into the vibe check. We talk about it all the time. Relievers are just failed starters. That's all they fucking are. That's all they are. They're failed starters that weren't bad enough to go get sent down and everything to say, oh, we have a little talent here. Let's put you in the pen. What happened to the days where you have your 7th inning guy who's lights out, who's probably the worst of the bunch, right? But he's still solid. Your setup man in the 8th, and then your fucking closer in the 9th. I can't name a team that actually has that now. There's nobody. Nobody in the league has that anymore. When we were kids, it was like every good team had 3 guys they always went to.
Now it's like guys trying to get cute. You don't starters don't go as deep into games, so you got to use more arms. People look for their arms more often. They don't look at it from a fantasy owner's perspective or a gambler's perspective. They're just trying to win a baseball game and also maintain their arms throughout the whole season. So Dustin May, whose injury, I'm not saying that Dustin May should have finished that inning. They should have went to the pen. It was probably the right move. But the thing that ticks me off the most is because I talked about this briefly about the Mets game yesterday when Trevor Williams went in for the 6th, but it was like a 3-0 or 4-0 game. They were losing, and they push him out for the sixth. And then they take him out with guys on base. Same thing with Dustin May. So Dustin May had 2 base runners on. I don't like closers enough to trust them to get out of these innings and keep the pitcher's wins, or even like limit the base running, limit the damage. I don't trust closers or any reliever for that matter. I don't trust them enough to do that. So if you don't want to roll them out for the sixth, then just 5 strong, fuck it. But now you take them out with guys on base. The relievers aren't going to clean the mess up.
What's really, it's almost apparent. It seems like it's becoming a trend. I don't know how it used to be, right? I can't remember a whole lot, but guys have 2 pitches nowadays, and that's it. And it's most likely a high volume fastball with some sort of slur, whatever you want to call it. And their fastball just like, it's super straight and you throw hard, but that's not anything like abnormal anymore. Everybody throws hard now. Everybody does. So it's like guys have completely lost accuracy. They've completely lost like any sense of precision pitching. And it's just completely thrown out the window. And they just want to fucking blow it by you. Listen, I love fuck you baseball as much as the next guy. But like they need to get back to like this precision aspect. The Jamie Moyers of the fucking world, man.
Seriously. I'm not mad at it. I think the biggest thing with Detroit right now is Tommy Kahnle in that pen. They didn't really have their bullpen figured out. He's a one-pitch guy. He's a changeup guy.
Yeah.
And he's been successful by doing that. And the Tigers have been successful because when you have a guy who can shut the fucking door, you're going to win games. And now, meanwhile, Miami ended up winning that whole fucking that whole game. Not only did they come back in that inning, they won the whole game. I think it went to extras.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about it all year. And also, I guess we'll transition to this too. It's not helping these relievers. It's also these umpires have been fucking horrible this year, man. Horrible. I have not watched a game where I've been like, wow, that's actually a good, this is a good umpire behind the dish. No, it hasn't been. And because, listen, I get it. You got to adjust to the umpire, and that's part of baseball and everything. But like with how much electronic is like on the ass of these umpires, the electronic pitch call, whatever you want to call it, is on the ass of these umpires, you'd think they would lock the fuck in, but they're not. They don't give a shit.
Do you think that's the future? Is this stuff?
I fucking hope not, because I wish these umpires were better. I wish they were better. I like the human aspect of baseball. Yeah. I don't want it to become electronic. But with how this is trending, it's horrible. It's horrible, man.
I totally agree. I like the humanized aspect too. I always advocate. I'm not a big rule change guy in general. Now there has been some rule changes that have been fine, but I'm never a big fan of the rule changes, especially at first. So I want the humanized aspect. I don't want to fuck with that. I was thinking though, because Brian Kenny on MLB Network was talking about some of this stuff today, and it came down to like he for one didn't like the whole in spring training going to this every so often. It was like the pitchers. His take was the pitchers seemed to have the worst take on what a strike was. The batters were a little bit better, but the best people at it were the catchers. Yeah. They're really good with the pitch framing and all that bullshit. That's another thing. Pitch framing has gotten to a point too, so that doesn't help the umps. But either way, like my thought is, if you're going to use technology at all, like can't we get creative with this? Does the only solution is robot umps? Or what's it called? Replay or reviewing strikes and reviewing pitches. Like there has to be a little bit other things. My initial thought was, we already have golf simulators. We have like even MLB, like you could hit like a fucking ball and it like there's like you ever see those things?
It tracks you, like all the guys in the cages and stuff.
It tracks you. Like there's already that type of shit. There's already AI. A lot of this there's scouting reports on the umpire already exist. With all this information that we have, including technology, make something along the lines of a pitcher throwing to a target that's maybe, I don't know how sexy this sounds because it wouldn't be a person target, but maybe it would be like maybe in a cartoon target or whatever, like a virtual target, and you plug in all the information like, hey, today we're facing Johnny Joe and he favors the outside corner, but he's more liberal on the inside. And you put in the umpire scouting report, and then he throws a bullpen at that fucking thing, and hitters can even take live looks at it. Like, I'm not saying that's the best thing, but if you're going to use technology at all, can't we do that so then pitchers know what a strike, a ball is? They can play the umpire a little bit more. Like, it doesn't just have to be review everything, robot umps. Like, we can use other things, can't we?
Like growing up, it was taught to you. I mean, granted, this is supposed to be the best of the best. This is the MLB, it's supposed to be the best of the best. But growing up, and this is for everybody, you're taught you pitch or you protect against the umpire's zone. Like me being a catcher growing up, you're always supposed to come in and tell your leadoff guy or whoever's up to this what it's looking like. Are they calling outside? Is he not calling inside? High, low? You want to know what he likes. And that was like beat into me at a very young age, and coming up. And I don't know if there's much talk of it now because it's just everybody's saying this is the MLB. It's supposed to be like this, and I get that. I 100% get that. But I still think these umpires are bad. Like I've seen people
pampered.
Hate what?
I said the players do get a little pampered. I feel.
Yeah, they do. You're right, but. I've been watching guys who are calling the outside strike the whole entire day, and then come like the 7th inning, they just stop fucking calling it. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't just all of a sudden realize, oh, that's a ball. Dude, you've called it 10 times already. You got to call that fucking strike.
The biggest thing they have to run on is consistency. Like if it's a ball, if they're like they're not friendly to pitchers on the outside part of the plate, it has to go for both sides, and it has to go for the whole game. Whether the pitchers like it or not, if you're going for both sides, so be it.
Exactly. So while we're on consistency, we can kind of get into this. I wanted to ask you a question. How do you feel about managers and their righty-lefty lineups?
I think it's played out a little bit. I'm over it.
So do I. Because, I mean, I was looking at the Phillies lineup going into today. They're sitting their hottest hitter in Stott because there's a lefty on the mound.
There's lefties that don't even play at all, period, if there's a lefty on the mound.
I agree. I just think it's played out. When he's hot, man. And granted, in the past he couldn't hit lefties, but you ride your hot hand, especially in baseball. We talked about how many times that it's a game of streaks, and then you're going to sit your best player right now.
I think it's incredibly played out. The thing that turns me off the most, a guy like Kerry Carpenter, who's a stud on Detroit, and I think we all like Kerry. He rarely plays when there's a lefty on the bump. Mm-hmm. And to me, like, if you're Detroit, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, if you're hitting, there's a spot in the lineup for you. That plain and simple. And also, I get it. I can justify it a little bit if it's about you want to give guys looks. Like, there's guys in Philly, like, if you want to give Sosa his looks and see if he's like that guy. I don't know what the lineup looks like today, but just for an example, teams are deep. Teams have guys that, especially at this stage of the game, we're not even in May yet. So let's see who's hot. Let's see what our lineup looks like over the course of a season. But at the same time, like, a guy like Kerry Carpenter, you're going to be playing pivotal games down the stretch. There's a good chance that Detroit makes the playoffs if they keep it up. And wouldn't you want your fucking lefty to be able to hit lefties? Like, I just think they're a little bit pampered and it's a little bit played out. It's a little overthought. Like, I think the best thing for him is to see lefties more so that he gets fucking used to it, especially when it matters late in the season.
Like, I get it if it's your bottom two guys, I get it. Switch them out.
If there's a platoon catcher thing or some bullshit.
Yeah, platoon catcher, like we have like Rojas, Marsh, center field. I get that. I understand that completely. Stott is playing like an all-star caliber player right now. If it wasn't for all the good second basemen in the NL, right? He's like in his last 10 games, he's batting over 300. Like, he looks great out of the leadoff spot. And you're just completely saying, I don't give a shit what your numbers are. He doesn't need a rest day. He's fucking 28.
And he's from Vegas.
Yeah. Fuck.
They don't sleep in Vegas. They don't rest in Vegas.
It like drives me nuts because, granted, these guys have earned it. Like Schwarber, Harper, Castellanos, they don't want to take a day off. They want to play every day. They don't want to take a day off. I don't blame them. They don't know how much time they have left. They're vets. They want to play every game that they can. But like, I guarantee you, Stott's got that same ego too. Like, he wants to fucking be out there. He wants, especially when he's hot, he wants to play every day. And I think it's super played. I agree with you. I just think it's so played out.
I even thought, because I mean, side note, we've been talking probably since circa 2023 about Stott being in a leadoff spot and Schwarber back and forth. Like, and it's not just us. I think Philly fans in general have been saying that it took Rob Thompson obviously this fucking long to actually entertain that idea, and it's kind of working. Stott's been producing, but nonetheless, like, even with, I think the reason he was a little turned off were two things. One, I think one of it was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They were going on some pretty deep playoff runs prior, so fuck it. Now after last year, shit, you got to change something.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a little one. Two, I think it also goes to if you go Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, there is a lot of lefties now at the top. I don't know if he was turned on by that Harper Schwarber back to back, but at the same time, I remember thinking this back then, like that's fucking played out too. Like I think we don't dwell on that. If that's your best lineup, roll it out. Plus, the last time the Phillies won the World Series, it was somewhat similar. It was athleticism, lefty, lefty.
Yeah, it was because they would go with whoever was hot at the time. They would go J-Roll at one. He was always batting leadoff, switch hitter, bat both sides. But then they would go sometimes Victorino, who was also a switch hitter. But then sometimes they would throw it. Jason Worth was hot.
Yeah,
he'd jump up there, and I mean it was.
Then it was Utley and Howard, like lefty. Like the last time they were good, they had a similar dynamic. Like Stott, Turner, I think, or the present day Jimmy. Jimmy had to flip you off. Jimmy and like Victorino, like they can scrap balls, they can whatever. These guys were obviously switch hitters, but then you had lefty. Like don't overthink it. Charlie Manuel didn't overthink. It was also a different era, but Charlie Manuel didn't overthink it. If that's your best fucking lineup, then do it. I don't. And you don't have to live in this perfect world where it has to go lefty, righty. Like I don't like. I'm kind of turned off by that. I'm turned off by lefties not hitting off of lefties. That can, especially when they're key players. I'm not a big fan of that.
I think it's just this new era of analytics where it comes.
And then it's another thing, right? These nerds are ruining the game.
Yeah, fucking Moneyball.
Nerds.
Great film. Fuck that guy.
We should talk. I don't know. We've already gotten deep with our vibe check. I don't know. The conversation for another day. I don't even think Moneyball works.
No, it didn't. They didn't win a World Series.
They didn't win shit. Why did they think it works? If it would have worked, it would have been Kevin Cash and the Rays. Over these last 2 years, that's when it would have worked. But it works. The only time it works is if the goal is to like save your not get fired, which I don't think that wasn't that Billy Bean's thing. Like he was on the
he was on the out, and then he got a big contract with the Red Sox and went to the Red Sox, and all that shit happened. But then he got the actual money, and guess what? He started spending the fucking money.
Got to spend that money. Money. So it works if you want to save face or whatever, maybe make the playoffs. But you're not going to win with that.
It's a top 3 baseball movie for me. I love Moneyball.
Do you know your others off the top?
Major League.
Oh, that's probably number 1.
That would be 2.
I don't even have them.
I think it's either Bull Durham or The Natural.
Those are good. I don't even have them. I have Major League 1, and then I'd have to think.
Yeah,
maybe bench warmers. That's a good one.
A young Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Wow,
what was his name? Vaughn. What's his fucking
Vaughn
name?
Or something?
Ricky Vaughn.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. All right, here, I got a quick little fantasy update as we continue to push through. Who was the guy I gave out yesterday? Oh, Brady Singer. He pitches tonight, so we'll keep in touch with him. But by one pitcher to stream tomorrow. For today, it was Singer. Let's see how he does, everybody. Keep me honest. My one guy for tomorrow is Matthew Boyd at Pittsburgh. He's not that well rostered, and he has a great matchup, and he's been a dog. Matthew Boyd at Pittsburgh. Look into him for the fantasy owners. And if any more fantasy news and updates that you want, stay tuned to the High Ched podcast tonight at 7:30, and then Thursday we'll reconvene on the High Ched. But for right now, I'm going with Matthew Boyd for the Cubs. A lefty against Pittsburgh tonight.
Is Boyd the Cubby?
Yeah, Boyd's the Cubby. This is for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's been on one, right? And he's had only hard matchups. Look at his matchups. They've been tough matchups thus far. Now he has Pittsburgh. He has a sub-3 ERA against some hard NL West teams. Now he's got Pittsburgh tomorrow. That's a good matchup.
Did he throw against Philly?
No, he didn't. That was that Ray dude who actually came out with a win.
Yeah, Philly. I can't remember his name, but
it's like something Ray, R-E-A, like Ray. Boyd, I forget what I was even looking at. Oh, it's Boyd. It's Boyd versus Heaney tomorrow. Wow, pair of lefties. That could prove to be a pretty decent matchup. But the Cubs.
Yeah, we were talking about Heaney and how it's his first real test. So
that's right. We were saying that yesterday. And by the way, Matthew Boyd, 13.4% rostered, and he's been pitching really. That's according to ESPN. Fantasy leagues.
Well, no, Heaney goes tonight. Actually, Heaney goes tonight.
Oh, is Heine's tonight? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, it says Cubs at Pittsburgh against Heaney, and then tomorrow's Boyd. So okay, so
yeah,
there may be some good. And then Boyd is tomorrow. I'm all fucking confused. But Boyd is like less than 15% rostered according to ESPN leagues, and he's been pitching like a fucking stud. That's a really good matchup.
I like because a lot of people forget to look. They forget to look at the matchups they've had previously. I mean, like the Cubs we talked about before have the hardest record. I mean, the hardest schedule so far in baseball.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, like that's why like we're gonna get later to our way too early rankings. But I talk about a Cub. I talk about two Cubs actually that I'm pretty high on in the awards.
Ooh. Is one an MVP candidate?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we might have the same guy, but we'll get there. Let's first truck on with our Wicked Wednesday, Shawnee. What do we got
All right.
for
So first game of
tomorrow?
the day, we get some more day games tomorrow. I guess they took a break. It's beautiful. It's a shame because it's beautiful out today. I wish they would have had some day games today, but
It's like night game division rival week. It's weird.
yeah, kind of. So, I mean, we're looking at some good baseball. Obviously, we talked about that, but stay tuned for tonight's games. Once again, if you want to see those picks, head back to yesterday. But we're getting into our Wicked Wednesday. We're starting out with a good one: Detroit, Houston. In Houston, we got Job on the bump, who has been unbelievable. I did not know we've been talking about him this whole time. He's a rookie.
Oh yeah, he's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Wait till we get to our too early rankings or our too early award ceremony. Yeah.
But I mean, he's been throwing well, and then we got Wesneski.
Wesneski. Okay.
Wesneski on.
By the way, this happened to me yesterday. I don't know what you're using, but why does Mike Guy's face look like that? That's not his face. That's not what he looks like.
I'm on ESPN. I don't know. Maybe they can't be ahead of the curve with MLB. That's a shame. But
yeah, why is ESPN ahead of MLB? MLB guy don't know this shit.
We don't endorse ESPN over here. But anyway, Houston sitting at 15-13. Detroit taking a loss last night, going to 18-11. Still sitting at the top of the Central, I believe. But with the Reds win last night, they're probably creeping close. But anyway, that's for another time. Detroit. Let's see what the ESPN has this line at for tomorrow. The line hasn't even been released yet. So we don't know who's favored yet, but I'm leaning towards Detroit. I'm a big fan of Job. I like what he's got cooking. Altuve's a bitch for wanting to move back in the lineup. Pussy. And we love the Tigers. We're high on the Tigers this year.
Yeah, we are. Job on the road, but I like it. I think that line will get released once they kind of get a vibe of how this game goes because Houston won yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So if Houston wins today, they're probably very unlikely. Like I don't think they're going to be likely to sweep Detroit right now. So I think if it's so I think when that line comes out, we'll have to gauge it. But I do like Jackson Jobe. He's a tough guy to bet against right now. 2.7 ERA. Someone made a point. I actually think when I was talking to Steve on the High Shed Pod on Sunday, he made a point about not really loving Houston's offense. They're kind of top heavy. They have a few stars, and then after that, it's like who. And I do think that's a good point. I think I don't hate Houston. I do think that they're a fairly complete team. I have them making the playoffs, and they are kind of cooking right now. But yeah, I don't know if I haven't heard a lot of Jordan could be having a quietly good season, or he could just like not be in the news for anything.
He hasn't been looking good. I'm pretty sure he's batting either it's close to 200 or even under.
Yeah,
and I know the power has dropped. So
217 he's hitting. So he doesn't look great.
A lot of these guys have moved on from Houston, and they're really starting to bring up the young talent. And like Altuve's look good, but Jordan's getting up there with age. Slow start. It's obvious. It's Jordan Alvarez. He's going to come back around. He's going to start to see the ball better and just hit the shit out of it like he usually does.
I don't even know if he's even that old, to be honest.
Jordan?
I don't think so. I don't know if he's 30 yet. Is he like 28?
Looks it.
He looks old and runs like an older man.
He's 27, but we got to remember. He's like with the whole Juan Soto thing. They don't know Juan Soto's age. Nobody knows what the fuck what actually.
Oh, that's true. And not even that. Even more so for your conspiracy is Jordan's Cuban. So when they escape, like who knows what the paperwork does.
But I mean, anyway, you're right. He's 27. I mean, I guess it's just a slow season for him. He looks old as shit, in all honesty. But I mean, it's Jordan Alvarez. He's going to bounce back. I did want to bring up because we've talked about the Tigers a lot this year, but we haven't brought up one person. And that's Javi Baez, man. Javi Baez is batting 299 on the year.
Good for him, and playing a little center.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing all over the diamond for them. He's played in a lot of games, man.
He wasn't an opening day starter, but they're finding a spot for him. They are a little bit banged up.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to start, and he's willing to fill in. I mean, I saw
him to fucking play, so he better produce.
I saw somebody talking about it. He said like maybe what's rejuvenating him is like this Tigers team, they're young. They're ready to go. And Baez has a little bit of that used to have that swagger to him. Maybe they're bringing it back in him. And I mean, Javi was awesome to watch when he was killing it. He was
Oh yeah,
awesome to watch.
I made this point yesterday with maybe when J-Rod starts to come around when now that Seattle's playing good ball. Like I think sometimes and I would call Javi as the same thing as J-Rod. I think these guys are spark plugs. They have tools. They have the ability to fire guys up, and they play a fun brand of baseball. They are kind of fun to watch, even though Javi's like he's fell off since joining the Tigers. But the whole thing with this is like those lights. Maybe he likes those lights. The Tigers were a little dull when he first got there. Now things are cooking. He's getting opportunities. He has an opportunity to be kind of a veteran guy. He's been there before, has a ring. To these younger dudes these younger dudes that could benefit from that. So good for them. But I do have Detroit tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, so we got Detroit, and then we'll move into kind of actually our little golden take action. Another 3-10 game on the West Coast. So earlier for those West Coast assholes. Yeah, Braves Rockies. Braves going to Colorado, obviously. Braves on the bump. We got Chris Sale, who's looked shaky so far. I think his last start he had a little bit better of a start. But then we got Chase Dollander, who's a rookie on the bump, who has not looked good this year at all. So let me pull up Sale's last start.
Yeah, real quick, that Dollander dude, I don't know him at all, but I don't know any pitchers in Colorado for that matter. But his ERA is tickling 8, so that's not good.
So Sale last start against Arizona, only went through 5, only struck out 4. He hasn't looked like the Chris Sale of the past, but once again, this is the Rockies. Maybe we look to him finally get over that hump, get to 6 or 7. But I'm definitely going Braves here. I don't really think this is any kind of. I mean, the Braves are favored -250. That's pretty nuts.
I also like the Bravos here. Of course, I have to though because they're part of my golden take. I need them to fucking sweep
it, right? Yeah.
Or else there's gonna be some real sickos telling me to do some crazy shit. But I mean. Sales, 5 innings, 4 Ks, but only 1 earned in the desert. So I'm not mad at that 1 earned, but he hasn't been inning. I think he only. What did I just see? He's only gone like a full 5.
He hasn't gotten out of that yet. Out of that 5th.
And that's the deepest he's gone was 5, and he only did that twice. So there's been something in the news with Sale about his like arm angle. Like he's always kind of been like some like not over the top,
lower,
and I think he's even lower now. So if he can make that adjustment, and honestly, the Rockies are a great team to bounce back against if you're Chris Sale.
We talk about it all the time. Good teams need to take care of good players, good pitchers need to pitch well against these teams, get your confidence back, and especially for Sale, who was Cy Young last year, looking shaky like the whole Braves team. But him especially, he's looked shaky this year, and look for him to bounce back. I'm taking the Braves.
Yeah, same.
All right. Then we get into probably the most shocking game that was yesterday. The Marlins out and Marlins beating the Dodgers. We look to this will be game 3 of the series tomorrow. They got Cal Quantrill on the bump for the Marlins and Tony
Gonsolin.
I don't know anything about this guy.
So he's making his first start of the year tomorrow. So yesterday we were talking about like we didn't know it was like a TBD for the Dodgers. Yeah. That's probably why they were seeing the status on Gonsolin. He's going to be making his first start of the season. Decent pitcher. I don't know if he's much to sneeze at, but he'll have a good opportunity to get his season rolling at home against the Marlins. Though the Marlins have proved they were down 5-0 yesterday. The bullpen came in and sucked, as we talked about, and then they ended up winning an extra. So Marlins have been a little scrappy, but I think Gonsolin, he has a good opportunity to make his first start of the year against this team at home. I'm taking Gonsolin. I can't roll with the Canadian Cal Quantrill.
Yeah, I mean, same. It's just so weird. Like the Dodgers have been this team that everybody's held up on this pedestal, and granted they're 19-10, but with how many injuries they're having, you have to start to question a little bit. I get they're deep, I get it, but like Glass now goes out. There's 2 people hurt in their pen, and obviously their pen didn't get it done yesterday as well. You have to start asking these questions a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is the Dodgers versus the Miami Marlins. Dodgers are the safe bet. Quantrill's, he's got like a +7 ERA.
Yeah, I would take the Dodgers to win tonight, and then Gonsolin to start his season well tomorrow, and then that would be 2 out of 3 for the Dodgers. And it's not, you win a series, it's fine.
Yeah, that's all. You just got to win the series. If you keep winning series, you're gonna inevitably have a good record. record. But then we get into another interesting team in the Mariners, which we can't really get a read on. We're not too high on them, but then they're facing the Angels. On the bump for the Angels, they got Tyler Anderson, who, hey, he's looked good this year versus an Emerson Hancock who hasn't looked good this year. Anderson holding a 2.6 on a 2-0 record, while Hancock on the other side, great movie, by the way, 1-1 with a 7.71 ERA. So Angels lackluster, but Anderson looks great going up against a Mariners team who's 16-12 on the year in an interesting AL West. So
Anderson versus Emerson. That's going to be fun. I mean, I think we said this on the show like last week. Emerson Hancock sounds like the protagonist of a mystery novel. But
yeah, he should be sipping tea and solving mysteries out over
yeah,
there, like Sherlock
yeah.
Holmes fashion.
Doing like fucking finding clues and shit. This is interesting because Tyler Anderson has been the better pitcher. Seattle's been the better team. I'm kind of conflicted. I don't know yet. But you might have to.
You might go and take. I need the Mariners to lose. So I'm going hot take here, and I'm going Angels. I'm riding with Anderson. Emerson Hancock, go solve a mystery, you stupid fuck. Give me Tyler Anderson.
Maybe his mystery at hand right now is how to shut down Mike Trout and the boys for tomorrow. If you go Angels, I'll split then with you to make things interesting. And I'll take
the
Seattle.
Angels, like we said, they get hot every now and again. They're 12-15 on the year. Yeah, whatever. Who the fuck really cares? It's the Angels. But in those division games, you never really know what's going to happen. It's weird. It's wild. We love it, but that's why we love baseball. Speaking about division games, we're getting into another good one. Very much more interesting series. I know we got the Battle of the Aces today and Pavetta Webb. Great game. Definitely going to tune into that. Can't wait for that game. But then tomorrow we get Michael King, another great one against a Landon Rupp.
I don't know. Call him
for the Giants. Obviously Michael King picking up where he left off last year with the 2.18, 3-1 on the year versus Rupp, 2-1 with a 4.56. I think we split this one tonight. I think I went Padres, you went Giants, right?
Actually, I think I did go Padres, but I want to change it to the Giants.
You're taking because you're a Logan Webb believer.
I'm a Logan Webb fan.
But we're talking about our Wicked Wednesday, so I'm going Michael King. I mean, he's been unbelievable so far this year already. And Rupp, obviously 4.56. That's quite interesting ERA, actually, 4.56.
Yeah, look at him go. This is tough. And if you're the Padres, you're in a good spot. I mean, even without the series starting yet, you're in a good spot because you throw out Pavetta versus Webb, so all eyes on that matchup. And then you can back it up tomorrow and roll out a Michael King. So holy shit, good for San Diego. I would, if I'm gonna go Webb tonight, I'll go King tomorrow. My former Yankee.
Yeah, it's the biggest question for San Diego is can they get the bats rolling again? I mean, Tatis has been incredible, but the rest of the lineups look a little lackluster. And this, I think they what we talked about, they dropped 4 or 5 straight so far.
I think it was like 4.
Yeah, so I mean. At one point they were 17-7, sitting at 17-11 right now. So, I personally think they bounce back this series. But, I'm going to go Padres tomorrow.
I'll go Padres. And I think the fact that there are a lot of these division games, you could make a case as to why that's a really good fucking thing for San Diego right now. Being like, hey, we dropped 4, but now we have to get back on track against our division teams. They see the Dodgers lose yesterday to the Marlins. They can start to, gain some ground and make up for some those losses over the weekend. These division games could prove to really fuck with these standings in a good way. But San Diego's looking at that right now and saying, "Sheet." After we dropped a few, we have opportunities to bounce back with Pavetta, with Michael King. They have to win one of those games. If I'm taking Webb today, I'll take Michael King tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that tonight's game's completely up in the air, but. Looking at another division game after the Giants Padres, we're getting to the Twins Guardians. And Marco, spin dude, people are starting to say, "Oh, what's cooking over there in Minnesota? Have they finally figured out?" No, they beat the fucking White Sox 3 times. They are not figuring anything out. I mean,
is that what it was? I don't think it was. I think it was better than that. No. Who do they play?
No, sorry, it was the Angels, not the White Sox. I mean, yeah, so they swept the White Sox, then they swept the Angels.
Oh!
They're on a 7-game winning streak right now, the Twins.
Ooh! I didn't know that. So they swept the White Sox and then they swept the fucking
Oh, they didn't.
Angels.
Sorry. They didn't sweep the White Sox. They took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox.
Then they
Swept
swept
the Angels,
one
and then
yesterday.
beat the Guardians. Beat the shit out of the Guardians, 11-1.
Wow. And now they have their ace on the bump. Well, we would assume he's the ace, Pablo Lopez, who's pitching better than I thought. I never give this guy any credit. I'm not a huge Pablo Lopez fan. But right now, 2-1 with the 2.08 ERA. Good for you, Pablo.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take the Twins.
I'll take the Twins. I'll roll with you. I'll take Pablo. Who did we take today in that series? Did we take Cleveland today? I think it's Bibby pitching. I did pick
that
Bibby
one was weird because both the pitchers sucked today, and I think we both took Cleveland.
Because I actually picked up Bibby in one of my leagues. Hopefully he gives me a good outing. But he's a good pitcher, but he's better than what his ERA is. But his ERA is bad right now, and Minnesota has been rolling. So at the rate that Minnesota has been rolling, and if I like Bibby today, I think we both took Cleveland, then I'll take Pablo Lopez to shove tomorrow, and then that way Cleveland gets one in, and then Minnesota wins the series.
I hate it. I hate everything about it, but
I hate Minnesota. But things are looking decent for them right now. I'll roll with the hotter team, even though Cleveland is higher in the standings.
I know these are little assholes. All right, I guess we can. So next we'll actually go to your guys over there. It's visiting Camden, Yankees versus Orioles. Carrasco on the bump tomorrow. Go get Povich. Don't know how to say that. Povich, I'm assuming. The Russian, probably. Polish, whatever the fuck it is. Even line for tomorrow. Both these guys haven't looked great. Sitting at over 5 in the ERA department. You're going to be the expert in this one. I don't really know anything about these two guys, so.
I don't know about Povich. I think, what's his name? Cody Povich?
Cade.
Cade. Who's Cody Povich? Isn't that a guy? I don't know. In the NFL? I don't know. No. But anyway, so Cade Povich, I don't know much about him, but the thing about that we always talk about, that everyone in the baseball community talks about, is the lackluster Orioles starting rotation. He's part of that squad with a losing record and over 5 ERA. Carrasco has been all right. Like, I don't want to shit on Carrasco. The dude's a fighter. He beat cancer. Let me see what Carrasco. Of course, I'm going to go with the Yanks. You have to. I don't think Carrasco's ERA is as bad as last game. He went 5 scoreless. He had a few rough ones. He's not a guy that's going to go deep into games. I think we assume that already. Yankees pen in theory could prevail. Devin Williams has been the one motherfucker, but he at the very least with Carrasco, what you can say is he can go 4 or 5 innings. That's what he's kind of expected to do in this role right now. See what happens when Gil comes back. But in his role right now, he can give you 4 or 5 innings and keep you in a game. And he looked pretty good last time, 5 scoreless. And now he has Baltimore. I know it's at their place. I know Baltimore won yesterday, but Baltimore's not it right now. I'm going to roll with Carrasco and the Yanks to win the series, man. They win tonight. They win tomorrow. Win the series at their place, and let's roll into the weekend strong.
I'm going to roll with you on that one. Just the rest of the Yankees lineup just has to get it going. Right now, it's a 2-man show over there, and the rest of the Yankees, they're going to find it. They have good ball players over there. They're going to find it. The record's still, Yankees are still sitting at 17-12, even with only if it being a 2-man show. So, I'm going to look for them to beat the lackluster Orioles so far this year, and we'll go for it.
And this is a good opportunity for a lot of these other guys to get going. If you can't rip Cade Povich, Bellinger, rip Cade Povich, Jazz Chisholm, rip Cade Povich, Anthony fucking Volpe, rip Cade Povich, Austin Wells. Like, come on,
Yeah. They gotta, and they showed life at the end of that game on Monday. So hopefully you ride that, get it going into these next 2, and just take the series.
Yeah, that's a good point. They got to keep rolling, go strong.
But then we get into another Division 1 today. We got Cubs Pirates. We talked about Heaney. You talked about Boyd today as well. He's going to be on the bump for the Cubs, and then
this guy,
Mlodzinski. Didn't we talk about this guy? He should be like in the Russian mafia, basically.
Yeah.
Slick back hair.
Yeah, or push.
Definitely shouldn't be pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's 1-3 with a close to 7 ERA right now.
He fits right in.
But we're gonna go. I think this is a no-brainer. Cubs roll.
Cubs roll.
Cubs roll. In Pittsburgh, beautiful place to play. Beautiful place to play. PNC Ballpark. A lot of Yinzers out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Yinzers. We like our Yinzers.
And they like their like mustard and shit.
Yeah, mustard and what's the beer? Fuck. What's the beer?
Pittsburgh beer?
AC Light. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. AC Light. I think it's. I
wouldn't have known that.
We like it, but
I know in Baltimore they like their natural bohemians. They're natty bows out there in Baltimore.
That's respectable.
Yeah, but in Philly, you know what they like?
Hams, PBR,
Yingling Lager.
Yeah, any sort. Philadelphia's like any sort of beer, Marco. I hate to break it to you.
That's true. That's true.
But we'll move on from that one. That was we just think that icy light. Thank you, Joey. Love a little spell check from our boys. But another Division I, two teams we can't seem to figure. Reds, Cardinals. Got Abbott and Matz on the bump tomorrow. Pretty interesting. Matz is respectable. 2-0, 1.80 ERA on the year, and Abbott's 2-0 with a 3.6. So both guys who have had some solid outings here.
Yeah, but the thing with Matz is I thought he was out of the pen. I'm checking right now. They've used him out of the pen a good amount this year.
So really?
He's getting a start.
You're right, yeah. He's been kind of in a little limbo area. Hey, we respect the guy that can do it all.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I guess this is maybe they're figuring things out with their rotation. Maybe some random dude got banged up, but we didn't hear about it, and now Matz fills that void. I don't know, or they're using him as an opener. You ever see guys like that? They go like the first one or two. I don't know their whole thing. I don't know if they know their whole thing. But Abbott has been pitching really well, decent, 3.6, but still, Abbott hasn't been bad. He's proven to give you good outings this year. I can't get a read on the Cardinals, but I'm going to go Reds tomorrow.
I'm with you on that. I'm going to go Cardinals as well.
I'm going Reds.
Reds or Cardinals?
I'm going Reds.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals. I like this guy, this Matz guy. Listen, his first start, his only start on the year, he went against the Stros, pitched 5 strong, only 1 earned. I think I'm going to roll with him. Maybe we're going to see a storyline this year of him coming out of the pen and working into being a starter, because it's normally the opposite way. Yeah. Normally these guys who can't cut it, come up through the minors, they're horrible horse shit, so they put them in the pen. My one example of it always will be Vince V for the Phillies. But oh my God, dude, the other night, Vince V faced off against Garrett Stubbs and Buddy Kennedy. Stubbs and Kennedy both took him deep.
Oh, jeez.
Back in the AAA matchup. But anyway, that's for another time. But I guess is that the first one we're split on?
The second one, I think. I think we split on that Angels Seattle.
Mariners, yeah. All right, we'll get into another one. Rays Royals. Rays playing some damn good baseball right now, but going up against a Royals team who's also high right now. On the bump, Kansas City. I don't know if you have it, because I don't. It's saying undecided. That guy definitely doesn't look like that, and there's nobody named that is undecided. Versus Rasmussen.
Yeah, Drew Rasmussen.
Who's holding a respectable 1-1 with a 2-1-0. Looking good so far this year. Interesting series because both these teams are hot right now. Obviously, we're not high on the Rays. I don't really think anybody is, but Kansas City. We love Kansas City here, and they're finally starting to play some good baseball.
I had Kansas City winning the division. I had Tampa Bay finishing in last place. But granted, Tampa Bay as a last place team is much different than a White Sox as a last place, or a Pirates or a Rock. You know what I mean? So they're different than that. They are scrappy. They have some guys. They have some guys in that staff too. Rasmussen being one of them. I don't hate Rasmussen for this start. I really want to see KC wake up and get rolling. This would be really good if the Twins can win that series against Cleveland, and in the process, Kansas City can gain some ground. That'd be great. But Rasmussen's a tough task. I might lean Rays here, and it's at their place.
I'll be interested. This would be a lot easier if we saw them play tonight, so we could get a read on what they're looking like this series. But hey, we're shooting blind here. You're going Rays. I'm going Royals.
I like that.
Line isn't out for this game, but I'm going to assume that they're going to go off of tonight. but I would say Rays are probably favored tomorrow because Rasmussen has looked good, right? He's looked good so far this year. So I'm already right now. I'm claiming the Royals as my dog of the day for Wednesday.
I like that. I like that. This is going to be an interesting series.
Yeah,
Both teams are right there. Like Royals are 1 game back. Rays are 500. Like they're right there. Royals are kind of climbing, and the Rays, did they just get finished sweeping Arizona over the weekend? So
Rays in the desert
it's
prevail.
yeah. Rays in the desert prevail, which is nuts, but good for them. They have the ability to do those things. I'd like to see KC do well, but I'll go with Rasmussen. But this is an interesting game, interesting series.
I mean, the Rays they're always a sneaky team. Always. I mean, like they always seem to string some together some games that you're just like, what the fuck? How did they win that? Or how is that guy there? And it's I don't know. But moving on, we're getting into a couple more AL East teams with the Red Sox Blue Jays. Another interesting series because the Blue Jays have been playing some decent baseball. Red Sox have looked up and down. They're gonna look to something Galito.
Oh, that's Lucas Giolito.
Yeah,
He's
Lucas
he's
Galito.
he's making his first start of the season tomorrow.
Yeah, against a Barrios, who's been a little lackluster. He's sitting at a 1-1 with a 4.24. He looked pretty damn good versus the Yankees, though.
I
So
think
that
he had a
is
good
something.
outing against Boston when they first played. Like Barrios, I thought came out the season looking good, and now I guess his last few outings
Well,
have
he had a
not
couple
been good.
stinkers. He had one against Baltimore, gave up 4. Then once against Seattle, gave up 3. So granted, very small sample size. Only pitched 5 games so far this year. 3 out of the 5, he's looked good. But I tend to lean Boston because I'm a big believer in this team. I don't really. His name sounds familiar, but I just don't know a whole lot. Do you know a whole lot about Galito? Galito?
Yeah, Lucas Giolito was a dude who made a name for himself with the White Sox. Remember that? And then he came over to Boston. It wasn't like great, but a lot of injuries. I don't know the last time he pitched because
Okay.
he's been so riddled with injuries. But he was a guy who made a name for himself with the White Sox back when it was like Giolito and Rodon was pretty good. And I think there was another. I'm missing
Got it.
a Cease was there maybe, and even another guy. They had a decent little cutesy little
Was Sale
staff.
still there?
And maybe Sale was there, but
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't. But then they had like they all went their separate ways basically, and the White Sox. Well, he was one of the guys that went to Boston.
I know. So one thing we talked about with this series is Boston looking to basically son these Blue Jays, make them feel like the little brother that they inevitably are. Like it's all like it's the Blue Jays. Like you're the Boston Red Sox. You need to make your name known. You're
Yeah,
like
the,
you're not supposed to be in third place of the AL East. You're not competing with us and the Yankees. You need to go show that this weekend. I'm looking for Boston to take this one.
I think that's a good take. I will say this. So Barrios did pitch against Boston this year already. This was in Fenway, and it was his best outing of the season. 7 innings, 1 earned. It was his only win of the season. So he pitched well. Sometimes I get a little worrisome for those guys that face, now they're facing you again. You had success the first time. I don't think that is a direct correlation to having success the second time. I think now they know you a little bit, and we'll see. And actually, they're playing better ball now than what they were. I'll also go Boston for that reason.
Yeah, kind of interesting in this series. It's like they there's a lot of good young talent on both of these teams. We talk about Vladdy and Bo on the Blue Jays, and then we can get into a slew of people on the Red Sox. But I mean, I'm looking at the leaders on this team. You got Santander in home runs, he's only hit 3, but he's still the leader right now.
Wow.
Springer batting 325, leading in average. And then the opposite side, you got Trevor Story, who's got 5 bombs, who's leading in that department, and Bregman, who's leading the average department at 319. So I mean, you're talking about these vets, showing out a little bit more than these young guys.
Yeah, and I'm not even huge on Santander, but he's got to get going. Vladdy hasn't really 100% clicked yet, especially not in the power department. But Springer's playing decent ball. Even Andres Jimenez has 3 bombs, so he got off to an early start with the new team. But yeah, Toronto's they got off to a good start, aren't really there. Boston in an opposite trend. So I'll take Giolito to pitch pretty well in his season debut.
Yeah, going with Boston. We like that. Both taking Boston.
Do you want to talk about your boys in Philly?
Oh, did I skip them? I might skip them.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, we'll talk about our boys in Philly in the bank. Thank you, 2 Chainz. Happy Wheeler Day. Wheeler going tonight. We love that. Looking for Wheeler to bounce back tonight. But then we're talking about our Wicked Wednesday. Sanchez coming off that forearm stiffness or whatever it was after he only pitched 1 or 2, looking to make his return tomorrow. I love Sanchez. I think every Philly fan loves Sanchez. Young guy. We know he's talented. We knew that last year. Coming in this year, Sanchez, I think, just rolls. Absolutely rolls tomorrow.
I love that. I hope he does. Now, Jake Irvin on the other side for Washington has been good this year, but I don't know if he pitched in that opening weekend series against the Phils. I don't know that whole thing. I know the Phils were at that point of the season were struggling to hit starters, and then they were tapping into the bullpen and taking advantage of it. I think the Phillies are a little bit of a different team right now than how they started, even though they started well, right? They beat the Dodgers in that series. They started out pretty good, but I think they are a different team. I think they had their blunders, and I think now is a time after coming off that Cubs series win. This is a time that they put it all together and really take advantage of an under 500 Washington team at the bank. Sanchez is a dog. He has to bounce back. I don't like a 3.42 on him. I think he's better than than that ERA just suggests. So yeah, I'll also take Sanchez and the boys in Philly to do it.
So I just want to touch a little bit. I mean, we talk a lot about. I don't want to talk a whole lot about the Phillies because we talk about them, basically all the time. But a guy who has really turned it around this year after having a horrible start is Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz in his last 15 days has batted .321, 3 stolen bases, 6 RBIs, and 4 home runs in his last 15. So talk about a guy that's really turned it around. Obviously going to be looking for Wheeler to shut him down righty on righty, but then maybe he has a favorable matchup righty-lefty tomorrow. But once again, I'm always going to take the Phillies. It was always the Phillies. It was always Sanchez.
I like that.
It was always. But then we're going to get into where did I leave off at? Oh, another NL East team. We'll go Diamondbacks Mets tomorrow. We talked about how interesting this series is with the Mets absolutely killing it at home. I think they were like 12-1 the last time we looked at home or something like that. Pretty unbelievable. They love playing in Queens. We know that. Pete Alonso's playing like an MVP so far this year. Lindor's starting to pick it up, and the Diamondbacks aren't looking great, but they're going to look to Burns on Wednesday. And for the Mets, it's still undecided. They're not sure who's going for him.
Burns, baby, Burns. I actually, this was my dog from yesterday was the Diamondbacks today. Mm-hmm. I liked Erod. Maybe it was a bad take, but, hey, I mean, the Diamondbacks are a good team. Let's not sleep on them. I know the Mets are on top of the world right now, but the Diamondbacks are still good, and I don't think the Mets sweep at home. They're not going to be 12-1 at home for fucking forever. The Diamondbacks can come in and win one of these games. If I had Erod winning yesterday, they turn it over to a cold Corbin Burns right now for tomorrow. It's tough. I think it is going to matter who pitches for the Mets, but since we don't know, I'm going to go Corbin Burns. Mets lose again.
I'm in that. Keep the apple in the hole, Corbin. Keep the apple in the hole. Also, just a side note, how sad is it that Brandon Nimmo just tied a record that you have to live with Brandon Nimmo for the rest of your life now? It's going to take a while for somebody else to get 9 RBIs, and you're going to have to see Brandon fucking Nimmo every time you look at that stat again.
Yes, that is true. I will say this about Corbin Burns. His first start of the year was in New York. Now, this was the Yankees in the Bronx. He went 4 1/3, 2 earned. So not awful. Got no decision. He's still looking for his first Diamondbacks win, and he already has pitched in New York. He hasn't looked great, so we expect him to bounce back. We've seen him pitch in New York. He actually got a lot of taste of New York being in Baltimore last year. So I don't think this is anything new. He's a veteran. He has a Cy Young. He has to bounce back. He's looking for his first Diamondbacks win. Why not tomorrow, Corbin? Why not?
I'm in with you. I'm going Diamondbacks. Granted, we've said it a lot, but Mets have been great in Queens. But it's always fuck the Mets. Yeah. Keep the apple in the hole. Moving on. Brewers White Sox tomorrow. Brew Crew really let me down this year so far. Sitting at 14-15. They're going to look to Tobias Myers on the bump hole in a 4-5 with Shane Smith on the opposite side, who's looked decent. 1-1 with a 2-3 on the year. White Sox are a poverty organization, but the Brewers, I don't know. I just don't know. We talked about Jackson Chourio going 5 for 5 one night and then looking like he has never seen a baseball thrown to him the next.
So the only positive thing you could probably even say about the White Sox right now is Shane Smith with that 2.30 ERA. I know it's still early, we're not even in May yet, and I guess at a certain point of our of maybe this week or whenever we do it, we're doing like our all-star selections. Like maybe we do starters, but my only point about the all-stars is every team sends a representative, and the way that Shane Smith has been pitching, he very well could make an all-star team with that 2.30. Granted, every team has to send someone, and it's not hard to make as long as you're pretty good. And with the White Sox, you'll probably make it because they don't have a whole lot going for them. But hey, that's just speaking highly of Shane Smith. He's been good. I do think Milwaukee is clearly the better team. I don't know how much I love Tobias Myers, but hey, to shut down the White Sox, why not? I would probably have to go Milwaukee just because it is the White Sox. But Shane Smith could go out and deal, keep you in a game. So he could pitch all right. But I don't know. You have to go with the better team, right? I mean, it's fucking Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, so Tobias Myers has only had one start on the year where he didn't look, great.
What, like 4 earned or whatever?
Yeah, he went through four earned, only 4 hits, but actually, sorry, 4 innings pitched, four hits, 2 earned.
Oh, only 2 earned. So that 4.5 ERA looks a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, only 1 start, and he's a young guy. He's 26. I look for him to gain some confidence against this White Sox team to sit at 7-21. So,
yeah, I like that. That's better for Tobias Myers and the Brewers. That's better that he's only gone 1 and only 2 earned through 4. That makes the 4 or 5 look a lot worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're I think they're in the clear. I think Brewers roll. But last game of the day, night game, 8:05, A's Rangers. We talk about it all the time, but A's are one of the more exciting teams to watch. It's just awesome what they're doing after kind of their owner just kind of gave up on them. And they're just kind of playing some fuck you baseball. We're going to go out and, go out our way. We like it. But they got Luis Severino on the bump facing Nathan Eovaldi, who had a strong outing his last go around.
He's had a couple of strong outings. And even though the Rangers offense isn't all there, I mean, Eovaldi has done things where he's worked with little run support and he can get away with it. His first win of the season was a complete game shutout. I think they only won 1-0.
Yeah, they did.
I'm sorry, that was the second outing of the season, but his first win was in Cincy. They only won 1-0, and he threw a complete game shutout. So he could pitch with little run support, and that's what the Rangers have kind of been giving him. His last outing, he also went a scoreless 6 and got a win. So his 2 wins have been scoreless. Now, you want to take a little bit pressure off your starter and give him some run support, but I think Eovaldi goes out and shoves against Severino. That's like an ace day over there in Texas. That's an ace day.
Yeah, Severino has been no slouch, obviously. I mean, he's kind of I think a lot of people kind of honestly forgot about Luis Severino. But he does have a 3.49. He's looked good in some starts. Has never looked like great though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna look. Won yesterday too, and that was a close game. It was like 2-1, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the Rangers to win tonight and tomorrow on our to cap off our Wicked Wednesday there.
I love it. Yeah, we'll go with Eovaldi on an ace day in Texas. Arlington.
Really? All right, man. Do we want to get into our our way too early rewards?
Yeah, let's do our little kind of as April kind of comes to an end in the next few days now. We only have 2 more days of April baseball. So that's kind of nuts. And now when May's right around the corner, we fucking should have our very early awards ceremony here.
So I gotta ask you. This is sorry, I almost forgot. Are we doing manager of the year?
I did have my managers, yes.
Okay. I have an idea of who I want. But I'll let you get into it. What do you want to start with?
Well, I don't know if this is a good one to start with or end with. All I'm going to say is Cy Young is the hardest so far for me. Cy Young is the hardest.
Here, let's go with your managers. AL. I guess we'll go AL, NL, and then we'll go. Did you do rookies as well?
I did.
So we'll go manager of the year, rookies, MVP, Cy Young. How about that?
I like that. Okay, right. I like that. So starting in the AL side for manager of the year, I did do 3, so I'll start with my third one, work my way up. At number 3, right now, I do have Kevin Cash for the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are a 500 team. I had them as a last place team. Kevin Cash always makes his way into these conversations, by the way. He's just that motherfucker. I was also actually I should say this because I did do an honor. I'm such a freak. I did honorable mention Stephen Vogt for Cleveland, but I won't get into him. He was just an honorable mention. He won it last year, and Cleveland's been playing better than I anticipated. But Kevin Cash in Tampa Bay at number 3. He's always in these conversations. Rays always play a good brand of baseball. They're 500 now, which is better than I thought they were going to be. Coming off a sweep in the desert. At 2, I have Dan Wilson making. This is his first. And by the way, Kevin Cash is he is a 2-time already winner of the award. Dan Wilson.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Kevin Cash has 2. Dan Wilson for Seattle, I have at number 2 here. This is his first year managing Seattle. No, I liked Scott Service back when he was the manager of Seattle for a number of years. I liked him, but I guess I don't know, there wasn't a lot on Scott Service. I don't know what they parted ways for whatever reason. But Dan Wilson now in Seattle, and obviously Seattle leads that division. He's been doing a good job. I don't have Seattle making the playoffs. We knew all about their pitching this, pitching that in Seattle, but they're winning games. They're winning games, and they're in first place. So Dan Wilson's done a good job over there. But number 1 for me, and as of right now, would be the winner, AJ Hinch in Detroit. The way Detroit is rolling on the AL side is incredible. AJ Hinch has been getting a lot of credit, and I think that noise from his Astro tenure back in 2017, that noise is gone, and people only talk about AJ Hinch in a positive way right now. How he's got these guys, they're winning on the field. The production is what we see, but it seems like they're all bought into the Aaron Hinch ways. I mean, the AJ Hinch ways. They've bought into it. He got him fired up towards the end of last year, and they went on that crazy run and snuck into the playoffs. Remember, and they continue to roll. So AJ Hinch has proven to be a darn good manager and kind of revive his career in Motown. AJ Hinch for me right now would be the manager of the year. I thought very tail end of April.
See, we got sorry, 1 second. 1 second. My bad. Do you want to give your NL real quick, or do you want me to give my AL?
Well, you could give your AL if you're ready.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I had to do a little research real quick. Sorry, I just need to check one more person. Okay, so the first person I'm going with is, we talk about him all the time. You already touched on him a little bit. We talked about how sneaky the Rays are, but I'm going Kevin Cash as well. I did not know he was a 2-time winner already, but I love how every single time the Rays are never really working with a whole lot. They're nobody really wants to go play for Tampa Bay, which I don't understand. I mean, I kind of get it. There's never any fans there. Like, the front office really doesn't seem to give a shit at all. And it just breeds kind of mediocrity down there. And Kevin Cash has got his guys ready to fucking go all the time, going out to the desert, kicking the shit out of the Diamondbacks, winning these sneaky games. I'm a big fan of Kevin Cash. Glad to see that he's won 2 already. That's awesome. But then we're going over to another team we talk about a good amount who's been sneaky this year, in the Oakland A's. I'm going with Mark Kotsay.
Yeah, Mark Kotsay.
Kotsay. I mean, just a bunch of young guys over there in Oakland. You talk about, I mean, you got Mason Miller, who's obviously an all-star, but then Jacob Wilson, who's coming up as a rookie, Nick Kirsch, who's coming up as a rookie, and Tyler Soderstrom, who's kind of showed out. He's only 23 years old as well. So a lot of young guys. He seems to be really getting them fired up to play for something. I mean, dude, they're playing in a minor league field at West Sacramento, and they're every single time. These guys are just happy to be there. They're happy to play. They play loosely, and they just want to fucking win. And I love that. And that starts at the top, man.
That's a great.
Can't say enough about him as well. But then I also agree with you for the manager of the year so far. Obviously, it's got to be AJ Hinch over there in Detroit, telling all these kind of naysayers and, we were cheating, stuff like that. You were fucking cheating. We get it, dude. But you might still be a good manager. AJ Hinch is my manager of the year in the AL right now.
I love it. Yeah, I didn't really even consider Kotsay, so good for him. I'm happy you brought that up. That's a great take. For the NL side of things, my honorable mention is Carlos Mendoza for the Mets. The Mets are on top of the world. Now, you could make a case that he could win it because the Mets are doing well. Now, the thing that kind of, when you do these manager of the year things, where it gets tough, it's like the way that they spend money, they're almost expected to. So I'm not.
Yeah.
He still gets mentioned. I want to make sure I mention him, but he's not going to be on my top 3 for that reason. But my top 3 begins at number 3 with Craig Counsell on the Cubs. He could very well be higher as well, but with the Cubs, they make a big move. They make a big splash with Kyle Tucker. They were certainly my pick to win this division, so I kind of expected a little bit with them, but they have been playing a fun brand of baseball. Strength of schedule has been not on their side, and they've been scoring runs. Pitchers have been showing up. Matthew Boyd, that Ray dude. Ben Brown might be another one. So they've had guys to show up, come around. And Craig, it starts again, like you said, it starts at the top. So good job with Craig Counsell over there in Chi-Town. But he's number 3 because I think a little bit wasn't expected. A little less expected, I think, was Terry Francona in Cincinnati making his first run in Cincy. Now he's like a 3-time manager of the year. He's been around forever, obviously. But now this is his first year in Cincy. And this is a team I don't have making the playoffs. This is a team that I thought maybe was a third-place team, can be fun and scrappy, maybe make for a tight race in the NL Central, a division in which we hate, by the way. But if it could be like Cubs can be kind of interesting, and maybe the Brewers linger, and maybe the Reds are like the third, and it makes for a fun little race. Well, they're playing better than that, and it starts with Terry Francona coming in. I thought that was their biggest move that they made in a long time, was bringing in Francona to be their manager. And they're over 500 right now. So I have to show Terry Francona, Tito a little love. And then another 3-time Manager of the Year award winner, Bob Melvin for San Fran. He's my number 1. I think, again, it's a little bit of a shock value, I think, plays a role for me. So Bob Melvin at 1 with San Fran. This was a team I didn't have making the playoffs, and they've been one of the hottest teams in baseball in a very hard division. They've been staying afloat and actually playing really good. So good job, Bob Melvin. He knows what he's a true professional, as well as Francona. But Melvin I have the upper edge on Bob Melvin just because of how good San Fran has been.
So once again, we're very similar, minus the Cincinnati Reds. I actually switched him out for Carlos Mendoza because strictly, I get it, money aside, but he's got his best player, his highest paid player, playing not great brand of baseball. And it's kind of granted, everybody's talking about it, yada, 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 but like the stuff that he still has his team doing, we talked about it at home. That's a sign of how good they're doing at home. That's a sign of a good manager. His guys are ready to play. They're ready to play for him. They like him. Obviously, even it gets overshadowed a little bit when you have a leader like Lindor on your team. But I think Carlos Mendoza is doing a great job. Still hate the Mets, though. Next, we're getting into Craig Counsell with the Cubbies. Hardest schedule so far this year, and yet they still are sitting where they are. It's pretty unbelievable. And like we always say, like I keep saying, it starts at the top with these teams. And it's pretty unbelievable what he's been able to put together over there. Once again, a lot of young guys over there. We can talk about PCA out in center as well. And then you got your vets like Kyle Tucker. It's a mixed group out there. He seems to just let him play and go. And I'm a big fan of him as well. But then number 1 right now, Manager of the Year in the NL, Bob Melvin. Can't say enough about him. San Fran and a tough division. They just are gritty. They win games. And we obviously love them.
I love it. Where things stack up right now, it seems like we're on the same page. I think Rookie of the Year is going to be a little more interesting. So I start on the AL side. My NL side's a clusterfuck. So I have to start in the AL. Let's get to it really quick. Okay, so my honorable mention for the AL Rookie of the Year is Cameron Meisner. That's Cameron with a K for Tampa Bay. He's hitting .315 with 3 homers. So good job, Cameron Meisner. But they haven't seen enough of him yet. The other guys I don't know if Meisner started the year on the team. The other 3 guys I'm about to name were on the opening day roster, so I give them the upper edge. At number 3 is Christian Campbell, hitting .305, 3 bombs, and a .412 on base. So I really like that over 400 on base for Christian Campbell. He's versatile. We speak about him very high, he got off to a hot start and he's highly anticipated. We always speak about Christian Campbell, but he's number 3 only because I do have Jackson Jobe at 2. Now, if you wanted to put the position player ahead of a pitcher, fine, it's apples to oranges. But you can't disrespect Jackson Jobe being 2-0 with a 2.70 ERA and 20 innings pitched. He's a big reason as to why that Detroit starting pitching is what it is. Everyone talked about Skubal. They brought back Flaherty, and that was nice. It's okay, but what's the back end going to look like? Well, he's answered a lot of questions. So has Reese Olson and Casey Mize, to their credit. But Jackson Jobe has made this a complete, really good 5 starters, and he's only a rookie. So good on you, Jackson Jobe. And then number 1 is your buddy, Jacob Wilson, hitting .321 with 3 bombs. That average might have trended down since last week when we talked about him, but he's still doing it at .321. He's playing shortstop for the A's. I don't know if you would have asked him a month ago, what it's like to play shortstop for the fucking A's is don't even have they're orphaned. They don't even have a home, right? It's like what are the vibes there? But to your point on Kotze, he's done a good job making that environment great for the players. And Wilson has responded to some instant success. So if the season would end today, Jacob Wilson would be my rookie of the year.
So before you even get into your NL, the AL, we have the exact same order as well.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a big believer that Job, Campbell's played really well. I mean, you obviously said his numbers already, but I like Job at the 2 spot. I think he showed out really well for that Detroit Tigers team. But once again, Jacob Wilson, he's a boy. He's a dog. We love him.
That's good then, because I was also the AL side of rookie of the year, there's a better rookie class on the AL side.
A lot easier.
The NL gave me a lot of difficulties, and there's even more notable AL rookies. I wrote them down. Like Jason Dominguez doesn't deserve to make this list over the course of a season. I hope he trends that way, but he doesn't deserve to make the list. Jack Leiter just got off the IL. He looked good, but then he got put on the IL, so I had to take him off. Then you got guys like Chandler Simpson and Nick Kurtz, who are just too they just came up last week, it feels like. So it's too early for me. So those are I think definitive 3, and then Meisner at 4.
I did want to touch on Chandler Simpson a little bit because he's electric.
Yeah,
he's electric. He's going to be in conversations towards the end of the year, but right now, like you said, it's just too early. He's only had a week.
And maybe in a month, if we revisit this conversation at the end of May, there's a good chance that he jumps up greatly. But yeah, it's a little premature. You should start with your NL because mine is pretty bad.
Okay, all right. So at 3, it's actually a new guy. This is the best I could honestly come up with. But I got Augustin Ramirez. Remember I talked about him the other day for one of my fantasy picks?
Yeah. I remember he was a catcher, right?
Yeah, so since that day I talked about him, which was, I mean, granted, this is our 6th episode. It was probably only 8 days ago, in all honesty. It's a very small sample size, but he's slashing .391 with 3 bombs and 5 RBIs already. Granted, he hasn't played much at all, but those numbers are still great. So that's why he's sitting at my 3. This just kind of shows how the NL rookie class is kind of horrible. You know what I mean? It's not great. 2, I have a guy who we talked about his stats earlier, and Dylan Cruz, who's really turned it around the past couple games, and I have him kind of trending up the rest of the season. That's why I have him in here. Now, it hasn't been for success yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm more looking forward, saying he's going to be there at the end of the year. Might even win it, because the last guy I have up here is Sasaki for the Dodgers, who, I mean, listen, I'm not too high on him. He started off really slow, and we talked about it earlier about how he's been – I mean, he's a young guy from Japan, completely out of his comfort zone and everything. He's got a 3.55 on the year, but we'll see how he goes. I mean, I like his stuff. I like the way he works, and we're going to see where he ends up.
That's a good take. You really can't – it's tough to disagree, especially with the NL rookie class. I did have some names here that are different, but I forgot about some guys, to be honest with you, and my whatever website I used didn't do me any favors. So I will show love. I think where things at the end of the year, I think guys like Sasaki and Cruz are going to be at the higher up, but where things stack, I have to go based on where things are right now. And with that being said, I think Sasaki actually would be my honorable mention and wouldn't make my top 3. He doesn't go deep in games, and he's repping a 3.55 ERA. I think he can certainly trend that way and even maybe come out on top. But where things stack up right now, he hasn't been the best rookie on the NL side, even though it's a weak rookie class. At 3, I will put Ben Kasparius. It sounds like a magic trick in his name, Kasparius, right? But he plays for the Dodgers. He's a reliever, and that's where it gets interesting is how can a reliever make his way on these lists, but it's not a strong class. But he is 3-0, a 2.91 ERA, 21 2/3 innings pitched out of the pen for the Dodgers. We've been talking about a couple guys banged up in that pen. Banda was a guy who came in yesterday for them and blew Dustin May's lead. So they need guys out of that pen, even though we talk about how complete of a team they look on paper. But he's been a reason why that, he's been a good pick out of that pen. Then I will go Dylan Cruz at 2. I'll go Dylan Cruz at 2. He's starting to wake up. Again, when we revisit this conversation in a month, he could probably very well climb up, and he was my early pick to win the whole damn thing. I think it's a safe pick to win the whole damn thing. But right now he's sitting at 2 because I do have a Met at number 1, Luis Angel Acuna. who's considered a rookie. He's hitting 288 with 6 stolen bases. I just think he maybe is a little bit average wise is there. He's on a better team, so that might give him more love. The stolen bases they're both stolen base guys. Cruz has more pop, but I give Acuna the upper edge because he's on a winning team, so you might give him more love. The average is there. Cruz, I think, could very well shoot up and win the damn thing. Same with Sasaki. But where things stand right now in a weak rookie class, I might lean Acuna here.
It's going to be interesting to see how they go with Acuna with Jeff McNeil coming back now.
Yeah, and they were both in the lineup in yesterday's game, and McNeil was playing center and then moved over to right or some shit like that. So it's going to be it's going to be whoever hits finds their way in a lineup, and I think Acuna needs his rep. And
Acuna's got a really good glove at second base too, so you can't fault that either. So
we got some guys in the chat here. Is PCA not a rookie? PCA is not considered a rookie, and James Wood is not. He got too many at bats last year. But good question.
They cap it, I think, at like 90. I think it's 90 ABs.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I don't even know the number, but I did look into those guys. I actually forgot about Wood, but I know that he got too many ABs last year, and PCA definitely had a lot.
Well, PCA and Woods would be the top two. Like PCA would be number one.
Yeah, it's weird how they do rookies because then they don't get any love for their actual rookie season, even though because it was so short. And now when they get a first full season, they don't get any love either because they were already considered rookie. So it's weird, but
I mean, we talked about how one person's got to go, and when we talk about our all-stars probably tomorrow, I mean, PCA is probably going to be on there for me. James Woods might even be a reserve, so we'll see.
Yeah. Love it. Moving to MVPs. Oh, This is the talk of the town, huh? Way too early MVPs. So I'll start with my honorable mention on the AL side is Tyler Soderstrom.
Really?
He's my honorable mention, hitting 291 with 9 bombs, 24 ribbies. To put that in perspective, the league leader in ribbies is 28. He has 24. Slugging over close to 6. Yeah, he's great. But I have to roll with Alex Bregman at number 3 for me. He's been unreal. A lot of times when I look at MVPs, I take them off the team and say how valuable how good would the team be if these guys weren't on it? And to me, that gives them the little oomph of who's valuable. Right now, Bregman's kind of been holding down the fort with a quiet Devers, a quiet Casas. It's been Bregman and a few young guys kind of holding down the fort offensively. So shout out Alex Bregman hitting 319, 5 bombs, 22 ribbies. He's been that guy. So I give him the upper edge over a Tyler Soderstrom, for example. And number 2, a guy that you talked highly about, I think yesterday, and I'm a big fan of this dude, Steven Kwan. I got Steven Kwan at number 2. Now we know what he can do as a punch and Judy guy, as a scrapper, as a Gold Glove type of left fielder. But right now, again, a lot of times the big sluggers tend to prevail. He's not a slugger per se, but right now he does have 4 homers, so the power has been there. 4 stolen bases, 15 ribbies. But the biggest thing with him is going to be like his on base and average. He's hitting 345 with a 395 on base. And Kwan's been electric. Again, that Cleveland team has been playing good ball, like over 500 ball, without really J-Ram finding it. They lose their right side of the infield in the offseason, and they need something to happen. Well, Kwan's been making it happen, so he's been a huge part of that team. He's very valuable to Cleveland. That's why he's number 2. And then number 1's obvious, right? It's Judge. I'm not even going to get into it.
It's the captain. Like you don't have to say anything other than that.
He's hitting over fucking 400. Yeah, I mean,
Judge. So mine for the AL is a little bit. I have one person who's different, and I'm going to throw him in here just because of, once again, I think the trend is going to go up, and he's still having a great start of the year, and it's Bobby Witt over in Kansas City. He's slashed in 315. Homers have dropped a bit. 2 home runs, only 11 ribbies on the year. Look for this team to get hot and do it behind Bobby Witt. I think towards the end of the year, he's once again going to be a top 3 MVP candidate. The baseball, it's just he's a true baseball player. He's a Gold Glove defense. I'd even say a Platinum Glove defense out there. I love him out in the field, but I mean the power has dropped, but he's still batting 315 on the year, so I'm a big fan. Next, I also have Bregman there as well. I mean Bregman in a new scene in Fenway Ballpark, great place to play. I know he comes from Houston, where their crowds are no slouch, but it's nothing like compared to what you got in Boston. Pressure's on out there constantly. hitting 319, 5 home runs, 22 ribbies on the year. Like you said, struggling Devers. Trevor Story's a little up there. I mean, he's looked better coming down the stretch, but I mean, Bregman's really picked up the slack for them. I don't think he's slowing down at all either. So big fan of that. And then we get into it with obviously it's the captain. It's Aaron Judge. I mean, it's clear cut. It's clear as day. He's unbelievable. What he can just do when he is standing in the box, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, he's a behemoth of a man, and he continues to roll. National League side of things. So this might be crazy to people. Maybe it's not crazy. But my honorable mention is Shohei Ohtani on the National League side. Don't think he deserves to be top 3 right now. But he probably, as long as Shohei's playing, he's going to be in some type of conversation. The average is picked up. He only has 9 ribbies over on the season. 6 homers and 9 ribbies. I know 7 stolen bases. Now I know he leads off a lot, so not a lot of ribby opportunities maybe. But 9 ribbies doesn't look good on him. And if he pitches later on the season, I guess time will tell. But he's only a DH, so he has to do historic. If you're just a DH, you have to do some pretty historical shit to be
you have to put last year's numbers.
Exactly, they're like last year. But anyway, these guys do also play. My top 3 are guys that do play the field and have been playing great out there. They're all outfielders. I'll start with my number 3 is Kyle Tucker. 289 with 7 bombs, 25 ribbies. He's up there in the ribby department. He also swipes bags. And some of these guys are pacing to be like 30-30 dudes, man. 8 stolen bases. On-base slug look good. I mean, Tucker has really propelled this team. They've been a very fun team to watch. They score a lot of runs. And he's that aircraft carrier that the Cubs have needed. So he's very valuable to that team. And he has the numbers to back it, of course. Number 2 for me is Corbin Carroll. He's hitting over 300, 9 bombs. So the power's there with him. He only has 5 stolen bases, but his stolen base type of stuff is kind of what he's known for. He could steal over 40 fucking bases, but this early parts of this year, he's been doing it with the long ball. So he's pacing to be like a 30-30 motherfucker too. He also has 23 ribbies, slugging well over 600. Good for you, Corbin Carroll. And coming out the gate hot after a kind of a interesting 2024 for Corbin. But good for you, Corbin. And then number 1, I have Tatis. Tatis hitting 346. He's a Gold Glover out there and right. 8 homers, 18 ribbies, 7 stolen bases. The Padres have been fun, and they've been doing it.
You got it. Was your last one Fernando Tatis? Because you just my Wi-Fi just went to shit. Did you completely cut out?
Oh, okay. I hope it didn't cut out on the actual thing. Fuck.
It was Tatis, right?
I had Tucker 3, Corbin Carroll 2, Tatis at number 1, hitting 346 with 8 bombs. I hope he didn't. Sean's frozen on mine. I hope I'm not the one that's frozen. If I'm not the one that's frozen, I hope I'm not the one that's frozen. Oh, geez. We're figuring shit out, guys. Hold on. Sound off in the comments which one of us is frozen. But if I'm not the one that's frozen, I'm going to keep riffing here. 7 stolen bases, 8 homers. Again, trending for that 30-30 type of guy, slugging over 600.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Okay. So I was just touching up on Tatis. Can you hear me? Okay. I was just finishing up on Tatis. Numbers are obviously off the fucking charts. And yeah.
All right. This is going to pain me to say because in my top 3, I have I have Pete Alonso. Jerk off. No one that ugly should be in the MVP race, but he is. 337 on the year, 6 bombs with 27 RBIs already. He's hit in clutch moments. He's looked good. The polar bear, he runs like he's got to stick up his ass, but he's still in my top 3. Next, we head to out in Chi-Town in Wrigley, Kyle Tucker, who, like you said, he's been the leader, toughest schedule in baseball, has them where they're at. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. He has to be up there when you're talking about him. New scene, and he's playing unbelievably well. Really big fan of Kyle Tucker this year. But then my number 1 is a guy who the sophomore slump kind of caught up to him last year, but he's showing that he's a true all-star. Corbin Carroll. 308 on the year. You said 9 bombs, 23 ribbies. Can't talk enough about him. Diamondbacks have been struggling, but he's looked unbelievable.
Yeah, I respect it. And it's tough not to put a Pete in there. I know Pete's been on top of the world, but someone had to get cut.
I'm going to be honest. I completely forgot about Tatis. He's been unbelievable this year.
Tatis been good. Yeah, this is why they're too early awards because, and we'll see it in a sec with the Cy Youngs. There's like so fucking many. It's like who do you cut? For me, the pitching is there's fucking way too many pitchers. It's crazy.
All right, I'll get started with the pitchers. AL is a little funky if I'm being completely honest because I threw a Boston guy in there and Garrett Crochet because he's 2-2 with 1.95. He's coming off his worst outing, this last outing, but he's sitting at a 1.95 ERA, and he got on reports the other day saying, I don't even feel my best. I've been pissed after every single start. And you're still sitting at 1.95. It's looking pretty good for him. I know he had a bad start last time. It raised everything a little bit. He got a loss. He's still I'm still putting him up there. Then I got a guy who you just put me on to last week, actually, Tyler Mahle. I mean, he, like you said, if the season ended right then and there, he would be the Cy Young. And you're completely right because he's 3-0 with a 1.14 or a .98 whip. Unbelievable. Texas has been a little lackluster offensive side, but their pitching has been unbelievable with the two-headed monster over there. Because DeGrom, I mean, it's look a little lackluster, but this guy's kind of Tyler Mahle's picking up the slack a little bit. We then get into my number one, who also I wasn't high on last year or the year before that, but Hunter Brown down in Houston. Hunter Brown has been pretty unbelievable once again this year, sitting at a 4.1 with a 1.22 ERA and a .84 whip. Houston, another lackluster kind of team right now, but he's been the one highlight of the year.
I like it. We're somewhat similar. I think I have my winner is our only difference. So I'll start. My honorable mention is Tyler Mahle. You touched on his stats. He's been great. Now, when I look at the biggest thing I had to look at because there were so many, I actually concocted 13 names for the National League and 9 names for the American League. So when it comes down to who do you cut, the biggest thing for me is going to be on innings pitched. So if you go deep, if you're an innings pitched guy and you're eating innings and you also have a great ERA to back it up, those are the things I look at. So Mahle becomes an honorable mention for me because he has less innings than the top 3 guys. The one guy you also mentioned, Garrett Crochet, he comes in at number 3 for me. You talked about his stats. Number 2, you talked about him too. Hunter Brown. He comes in at number 2 for me. He's been absolutely electric.
I think I know who your number 1 is.
Say it.
Yankee. Max Fried.
And then Max Fried, who has more innings pitched than all these guys. So I really value innings pitched, and he's been eating up a lot of innings. Still has a really low ERA, 1.43 ERA, and more innings than these guys. That speaks a lot for me. And he's 5-0. He's 5-0. So, and I don't dwell too much on win-loss record because you could be, like when DeGrom won with the Mets, like he played. No one gives him run support, so he's not getting wins.
He was at like 500 when he won.
Exactly. So it's like it gets. I don't dwell on the win-loss record, but if you have a great ERA, if you have a lot of innings that can back it up with a great ERA, that's awesome. But if you're 5-0, that will get fucking mentioned. So good for you, Max Fried.
Like you said, the NL, very hard. And I got a person in here who honestly probably doesn't deserve it. I just think he's going to be there come season end. So I start off my list at the bottom at 3rd with Paul Skeens. Granted, it's Paul Skeens. He just shoved against the LA Dodgers, who we hold on this high pedestal. So obviously, I think he's gonna be there towards the end. He had a couple rough starts. Maybe he was just trying to get too cute. Who knows? But sitting at 3.2 with a 2.39, 0.80 whip though. Pretty good stats. Not where he holds himself to a higher standard. He wants to be that sub-2 guy. And I think we get to the end of the season, he's going to be there. So I'm going to keep Paul Skeens in this 3, just coming off a Rookie of the Year. We'll see how he goes. Second to your guy, Logan Webb out there at the Giants. Can't say enough about this guy because, we've been talking about how everybody seems to be on this I'm going to gas it right by you trend, but he's kind of your old school type of pitcher where I've got a bunch of pitches, bunch of nasty pitches, a lot of movement, and I'm going to locate. Big fan of him, sitting at 3.1, sub-2 with a 1.98. Like him where he's at. But then my number 1's been my guy for a while now. Loved him when he was in Boston, switching jerseys, but still the same pitcher, Nick Pivetta. 4.1 record with a 1.2 ERA in the year. Right now, he's my Cy Young.
Yeah, those are good, and I'm happy you went with Pivetta because he didn't crack my list. But again, I had 13 names for who like the potentials, and I had to chalk it up to 3. That's why I had to throw an honorable mention in there. But Pivetta was one of the guys I entertained. But I will go right to my honorable mention. Jesus Luzardo. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Luzardo's been a fucking stud. I value innings pitched, and he has a 1.73 ERA, over 40 Ks. I mean, Luzardo's been that dude. But then we get into it. I got Hunter Green at number 3 for me. Hunter Green's been good, a big innings eater as well. All these guys I'm about to name are innings eaters, and they have the ERA to back it. A little high ERA. I mean, not high, but I mean 2.70 ERA for Hunter Green. I think he's pitched at times this year where he's been absolutely electric. So a 2.7 right now is actually, I think that doesn't look good on him. I think his last few outings he might have got hit around, but I think he's pitched better than what that 2.7 represents, even though 2.7 is off the fucking charts. Also a sub-1 whip. He's that motherfucker at 3. And then I do have Skeens at 2. And even though he hasn't been at his best, he's still ripping a 2.39 ERA. Yeah. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. And he's a huge innings eater, the sub-1 whip, strikeout guy. Same with Hunter Green. And then number 1, Logan Webb for me. Innings guy, a 1.98 ERA. We'll see if that changes at all after his outing tonight against in San Diego. His whip's a little much compared to the other guys. His whip is a little over 1, but for as much as his whip is higher than Green and Skeens, those guys aren't fucking scoring because his ERA is a lot lower. So I value Logan Webb, and he's a guy that's been flirting with Cy Youngs in the past. He's always seems to be in that conversation. I'd love to see if this is the year that he can prevail. He's got to keep it up, but Webb's been a dog.
I like that. So for all of our picks, we seem to be right around minus a couple people. But I mean, it is kind of, except for Cy Young, you're right. It is kind of clear cut who have been some of the top guys this year, head and shoulders at best. AL MVP, I'll be shocked at the end of the year if it isn't Judge, obviously. But
I think Witt will climb. He's not on my thing right now. But if you just talk about pitchers for a second, like fucking Nick Lodolo isn't crazy to suggest. Yamamoto isn't crazy to suggest. I'm happy you said Pavetta, but like a Brandon Pfaff has been good. Fucking Heaney's been good. Freddie Peralta, Michael King, McGill, and Senga, and fucking there's so many. It's tough. Evaldi's. We didn't even say Scooble at all. Like Bassett's been good. Like it's so hard. It's overwhelming with the pitchers. So
we didn't even talk about any of those guys in Detroit, and they all look great.
I had Mize too on my thing. I don't know if I said Evaldi. Like they had Bubic for Kansas City. Might be their best pitcher right now, which is crazy with Reagan's in the mix. It's overwhelming the guys who are, especially if I'm valuing innings and then guys who can back it up with a good ERA. There's a whole slew of them as April winds down, and the test of time is going to tell who can actually keep it up for the long haul. But again, we haven't mentioned Zach Wheeler, and he's a guy that has proven to keep it up in the long haul. You know, Scooble didn't make anyone's top 3. He's the guy that last year proved to keep it. So let's be interesting who works their way in and out of these lists.
Yeah. But I mean, tomorrow we're going to touch on it, get a little bit more broad with it with our All-Stars so far.
Oh yeah, and All-Stars are going to be even more interesting. We'll figure out the metrics on how if we're doing a starting lineup or we're doing, a few reserves or whatever we do. But what we didn't do yesterday was take a home run guy for today. Or we didn't take a home run. Yeah, we didn't take a homer for today. So now we have to take a homer for tomorrow?
How about we get 2?
One for tonight, one for tomorrow?
Yeah. Let's see tonight. Who we got tonight? I think I'm going to go with Philly tonight.
I'm going to go off my fantasy team.
Ooh.
But my fantasy team hasn't been hitting homers. Actually, as a whole, I thought last week, not a lot of teams hit home runs in terms of fantasy. Like, there just wasn't a lot of bombs, I thought, last week as a whole. Who's pitching for the Phils? Christopher?
Wheeler.
Oh, Wheeler.
Wheeler tonight. What's Corbin Carroll's odds tonight?
I don't even know.
Oh, my God, it's Dinger Tuesday. Oh, it's Dinger Tuesday.
Ring the bell.
Corbin Carroll's at 6:30. Who's pitching for the Mets tonight? Oh, Drew Peterson. I don't know if I like that one.
You know who I'm taking tonight to go, yeah? Jonathan Aranda for the Rays. First baseman for the Rays. Jonathan Aranda off my fantasy team. That's for tonight.
You want to get more obscure with it?
Hey, my guys kind of have been. I got that Neto one.
Nino.
And then
I like a kind of a safer bet. Astros still don't. Oh no, this is going to be my pick for tomorrow. Astros don't know who they're throwing tomorrow, but I'm going Kerry Carpenter tomorrow. Tonight, give me Austin Riley out in Colorado.
So you got Riley tonight. I got Jonathan Aranda tonight. Oh, those Colorado guys are good. Yeah, those Braves in Colorado are good. And then tomorrow, if we're taking one for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm taking Kerry Carpenter tomorrow.
I'm taking Pavin Smith in Queens.
Ooh. Pavin's looked unreal.
He's looked good.
Dude, there's only two guys who have looked good in that lineup. It's Corbin, who's playing at an MVP level, and then Pavin Smith.
Yeah,
if Corbin wasn't in that lineup, they would legitimately be like they would have won probably 6 games by now.
And I will respect Perdomo, the shortstop. I think he's trended down a little bit, but he's fit in that 2 spot when Marte went down. So I'll respect him. But yeah, they need guys to step up. And let's see if that offense gets rolling in Queens if you're a fan of the Snakes out there. Pavin Smith, he's due for a homer. He gets one tomorrow. But Jonathan Aranda tonight, Austin Riley tonight, and Kerry Carpenter tomorrow.
Yep.
Ooh, that's nice.
And that's going into a Fat Tuesday, looking at a Wicked Wednesday. That was a damn good day, Spin.
That was a damn good day. A lot of baseball, but hey, that's what this fucking time of year is about.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. What's tomorrow? We got a Wicked Wednesday, then we'll be talking about a Thirsty Thursday. Tomorrow's show.
A little bit of All-Star talk. Way too early, month in. Way too early, but we're going to talk about it.
Nice. Yeah, well, then we'll do our All-Star things. Hope everyone liked our way too early awards. I thought we got, for the most part, I mean, baseball fans know that everyone we talked about is pretty much at the top of their respective, things there. So that's great. But we'll be back tomorrow. Sean and Swell should spit in the morning for episode 7 tomorrow at 4:30.
Yeah, look at that 4:30 again.
4:30 tomorrow, baby. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on a Wicked Wednesday.